Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another armament update video, bringing it to 2.5. Yes, another milestone in this add-on, and this is a huge update in my opinion. It doesn't add much content, but it does just add a lot of optimization, cleanup, and whatnot, and it does add a few things though, so we'll go over those additions and changes and whatnot, and let's get into it, guys. Alrighty guys, the first thing I want to go over is the optimization issues in this add-on, and I've done my best to try and fix these issues, but a lot of it is out of my control. But I will tell you exactly what I've done and whatnot, so yeah, let's just get in straight into the optimization issues, guys. So you may be wondering, what exactly did I do to optimize my add-on here? And the main thing that is the issue in this add-on, like I've mentioned before, is just the amount of animations that are in this add-on right now. It's just ridiculous how many there are now. And I can't really do anything about that, but there are some things that I can do to at least like negate that a little bit. And that number one thing was rendering. So before there was a ton of render controllers and whatnot for all the weapons and tools and gear and whatnot. So all of that has been condensed into just like what I think it was like 6, maybe 8 render controllers in total, when it used to be like 150 or 200. You see what I'm saying? So that's a huge improvement right there. But it's not, like I said, it's not going to fix all the problems, but it will at least get you to be able to load into the game. It's like all those PS5 players that are having issues just logging into the game, right? And it just immediately blue screens. Now you'll be able to do that. You'll at least be able to play the game and have fun, you know what I'm saying? But it's not going to fix like all the lagginess, or like I do have like a list of things that you can try on my Patreon or in the description of this video that you can try just to improve performance, because I want you to enjoy it as much as like any PC user, because I play on the computer and this add-on functions very well on the PC, but multiplayer it struggles a little bit. But like I said, I'm working on it, guys. The next major change, guys, is removing the rendering of weapons and 3D items on your back and hip while swimming, guys. I know this was a really awesome feature. I loved it a lot, but it was just taking too much resources for the game, because all those extra geometries, all those extra animations and whatnot, or I just decided to remove it. It wasn't worth it for how much effort it was taking for the game to run it, you know what I'm saying? So I completely removed that, but you will at least be able to see your arms in first person, because I still think that's really cool. So that, it's just a simple rendering thing. I just activated that, or kept it activated when you have any weapon in your hands, because I still think that's really cool. But in doing this, I also reduced the pack size by literally like almost half, guys. So now, like, it used to be like 50 plus megabytes. Now it's like 20 something, maybe like 30. I don't know. I'll display an image on my screen so you guys can see exact numbers there. But it's just a huge improvement, guys. And that's mainly, like I said, just removing geometries, changing some sounds, removing some sounds, and changing texture quality of some things, because some images were using like really HD images or something like that. So I've just completely changed how those are being rendered and how those materials and stuff to get it working properly. But yeah, guys, that's a huge improvement, reducing the pack size by that much. And yeah, it just makes it so much better for any device. This update isn't all doom and gloom, guys. It does actually add some new features even with all these optimizations and changes. And any hardcore fan already knows what the additions are for this AWM is. And that is the iron sight, guys. That is correct. And now the AMW has iron sights off the rip, which means I changed the item texture. And of course, you're probably wondering what the heck happened to the scope. And that's because I made them 8x scope. I made them attachables, yes. And I also made a night vision 8x scope, which is pretty fun to use. But of course, you just want to put the 8x scope in the optic hotbar slot, which is the 8th hotbar slot. That's where all the optics go. And I went ahead and put like a weapon types on the 8x scope, because I don't feel like this should be used on any other weapon than the AWM and Mosin Nagant, and that's just a preference. I know some of you guys will probably disagree with that. I just thought it visually looked the best on these two weapons only. But yeah, of course, and it has the +8 range. It's not actually increasing the range, but it just makes it so you can see further. But the -1 handling, that's what I want to talk about. The -1 handling. So if you watch like very closely, like it's pretty slow to like ADS and like hip fire. You see how like it kind of drags to get into that hip fire spot. Sorry guys, I can't talk. Yes, but now it's a little bit faster. You see how much faster it is. It's not super noticeable, but you'll be able to tell, trust me. And same with like the ADSing, it's a little bit faster. It already had that feature for the ACOG scope, you know, so like if you attach the ACOG, it would be faster to zoom in, you know. So same thing applies, you know. So now, like, see how much slower that is? Yeah, it's just so much better. It's so cool just to have like those different like little features, you know what I'm saying? And of course, guys, the 8x scope NV optic. It looks kind of cool, so of course now it's a green version. It looks pretty dope in my opinion, and of course it's just a nighttime optic, so now it just functions just like the ACOG. And of course, guys, the Mosin Nagant can have these attachments, which I think looks pretty freaking sweet now. And of course, here let me show what it looks like before. So yes, so now if you look closely at the bolt there, the little ball on top, that actually changes depending on which sight you have. And again, like, yeah, I could have made it so the attachment, like the ACOGs could fit on this. It just didn't look right to me, guys. You know, like it just felt like it should only have this classic scope, you know. So now it has the goodness of that. And then of course, like I mentioned, the bolt there has a longer hook there. It looks really cool. So now you can actually, it makes sense when you pull it back. You see what I mean? Even the animations slightly change of when you inspect and whatnot and pull. All the animations of like the pulling and stuff looks so cool in my opinion. And it like kind of fit perfectly when I was just using the AWM scope. I didn't really have to do much to the Mosin Nagant. The Mosin Nagant does also have a slight texture change. I just made it match the AMW scope a little bit here. It just looks great. But so this thing does also hinder the Mosin Nagant. So if you run out of ammo and you have just the Mosin Nagant clip in there, it will not reload if you have this on there. Because, you know, like if you have an empty magazine with the Mosin Nagant and you have that clip, it will go ahead and shove the entire like magazine in. See, like, does that, which is pretty cool, a little faster reload. And of course, you can still do the manual reload. It really depends what you have in your inventory, you know. So you don't have to do that, or have to have the scope on to be able to do the individual reloads like this. It's just really cool. I love the different like animations for that, and that's the 7.62 bullet. And yeah, it's super easy to craft these because you craft one 5-stack and you get 5 bullets. You know what I'm saying? Super simple. But yeah, it just made sense because, you know, you wouldn't be able to shove an entire magazine in through the top with a big ass mag like that. So yeah, that's the whole purpose of that, and it just looks really cool in my opinion. But yeah, that's what's going on with the sniper scopes, guys. Let's get into the other stuff coming. Forgot to mention, guys, another really sweet feature with these new attachments. You can actually use them when they're in your main hand, you know, because they're pretty much just the spyglass, you know. So now you can like use them, you know. It's really just like if you had the scope, you know. It's still really hard to look around, you know. It's pretty much just another version of the spyglass here. So yeah, you can just use these even though they're not attached to anything. Oh yeah, sorry, it's daytime. Sorry, I forgot how bright that was. Yeah, it's super cool that these are just usable without any guns still, you know what I mean? I just thought that was really cool. Alrighty guys, the next thing I want to talk about is the P90. The P90 is a pretty badass gun in my opinion, and it's just getting a little bit of revamp for everything. So the animations are just a little bit closer to the body or slightly altered. And of course guys, I made it so you can at least attach the red dot scope, so now you can have the red dot if you'd like. And of course I went ahead and changed all the visual effects and the audio, and it just looks a little bit better and sounds a little bit beefier. It's just better. Everything's just a little bit better about it, you know. It's nothing super crazy about the P90 that was updated. It was just, you know, just a quality of life and whatnot, you know, to all the other improvements made to the other guns right now. And it's still like one of my favorite guns. I really love the transparent magazine on this bad boy. Just super cool to see the bullets slowly disappear as you're shooting. You see that in the magazine? It's so awesome. I love that feature about this gun. And you know, I was thinking about putting, you know, like the ACOGs on it, it just looks so freaking goofy. It already looks goofy with the red dot on, you know. But I was like, at least it's gotta have something, you know, at least right now. You know, in the future I may like add like laser sights or something, you know, like silencers. You know, I'm just kind of looking at that stuff. But yeah, it's the #1 issue about adding like silencers and things like that though, are all the extra audio files that I would need to make and like, you know, play accordingly depending on how many attachments. Yeah, it's just like more and more things to have being updated in the game when the game's already struggling to render and do everything that's on the screen already. You know. But yeah, that's what's going on with this, you know, nothing super crazy. Super cool though, I dig it. Alrighty guys, the next thing is the Remington 870. And this is a pretty sweet shotgun. So this obviously I decided to make it so you can at least attach the red dot. Looks pretty cool, and of course I know it doesn't really make sense, but it looked okay to me, you know, so I said screw it, let's add the ACOGs to the shotguns. You know, it doesn't really make sense like I said, but you can still add them, which is still pretty cool, you know. You know, it's just something else that you can do in the add-on, you know what I'm saying? But another thing that I want to talk about is also the SFX has also been changed, all the sound effects. Just makes it sound really beefier and a lot cooler in my opinion. So let me go ahead and fire some shots really quick. I think that sounds so freaking much better now. And I don't know if you guys are like, many of you probably won't notice this, but I've changed all water impacts depending on the guns, and like you see the bullet trails underwater when you shoot, so the bullets will actually travel underwater a little bit. Beforehand they used to just immediately stop as soon as they hit water, so depending on like the bullet caliber they will go further in the water or not. You see like the M4 is going pretty deep there, and the water splashes are a lot more violent, you know, because it's an AR, you know, and compared to the shotgun that has a bunch of pellets that get shot out, you see like little smaller splashes expand out, you know. It just looks so much better, you know, compared to what it was. And then of course the sniper caliber just goes super deep in the water. You know, it might be hard to see it, but I can definitely see it. It would be more so for multiplayer. Like, imagine you're swimming underwater, right? And your homies are like shooting at you. You'd see bubble trails being shot at you. That was the whole purpose of that, which is just super cool, you know. And you know, you can fire these underwater, and you can kind of see what I mean. It's still a little messed up right now. I'm still working on it, and you shouldn't be able to fire these underwater. You know, and I may do like some like cooler sound effects and like water effects for some of the weapons that can be shot underwater. That's like a future thing though. But for now, it's just a really cool water edition. You know, there's all these extra small changes that just make it look visually better. Just thought I'd point that out, guys. Let's get on to the other stuff. Alrighty guys, another really cool thing coming in this update is improving the Minigun and MX115's impact visual effects and optimization. So now they just create a more glow, you know, it just looks pretty cool, you know, you see that like extra brightness, you know, it would make more sense if it was hitting like metal and stuff. I just, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just thought it looked really cool having that extra glow. And of course for the MX115s, it will do something similar, just in the proper color of whatever gun it has. You see that? It probably is better to see it in game. I don't know how easy it is to see it on video, but in game I can clearly tell, and I know you guys will be able to tell when you see it. It just makes it look so much cooler. Alrighty guys, there is one more thing I forgot to mention about the snipers and their scopes now. So many of you probably, if you've played before and have noticed this before, when you try to aim in third person with the AWM before, it would just zoom in on your back. So now it will actually like show the proper sight depending on what scope you have, you know. It won't do this obviously if you don't have a sight attached, you know. So like if I go ahead and just take this off and then try zooming in, it's not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So that's just a huge improvement for the snipers, you know, because some of you like to play in third person, so now you can like be peeking corners and still be able to aim properly, you know, rather than just looking at your back. I thought that was a really cool addition for these snipers here. But that's pretty much it for this update, guys. If you want to know more stuff that is coming, like additions and changes. I'll display it on my screen here, or you can go ahead and just read it in the description, or on my Patreon post. I put all the information of the bug fixes, the changes, and all that. But yeah, guys, it's been a grind to try and optimize this. I spent so many sleepless nights trying to make this as optimized as I possibly could currently. I mean, there are some other small things that I could do, but as far as like the weapons and stuff and the way they're rendered and like animations and stuff, I can't really do anything else. So like, it's kind of out of my control at this point. I just really hope that Mojang or Microsoft, whoever's in control of the add-ons right now in the marketplace and whatnot, I'm pretty sure it's just Mojang, but I really hope that they're looking into fixing all these things. I know they've mentioned it, but it's just really bad on PS5s and some other devices. Like, add-ons just struggle to run as well as like even iPhones. It's really odd how next-gen consoles are struggling to just run add-ons. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. But yeah, that's sorry, I'm just ranting at this point. That's pretty much what's going on, like I said, with this 2.5 update. I love you guys. I appreciate you if you stuck around all the way to the end. More stuff is always coming, like always. Raw Survival, I'm working on another video for that. Hopefully I can get another video for that coming out soon. You know, it's just always grinding, guys, you know, with work and everything. Just trying to get there. We're getting closer and closer. Remember, all about baby steps for or Raw Survival. Sorry, guys, I'm getting a little mixed up here. Let's just close out the video. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Peace.